Exactly 39 years ago, President Idi Amin Dada was ousted from office. After ruling Uganda for 8 years and 3 months, Field Marshal Idi Amin Salongo finally dislodged from Kampala on April 11, 1979 by the Tanzanian People's Defense Forces and the Ugandan rebel groups. This brought to an end his life presidency, under which there had been no parliament, no constitution, and during which the country was ruled by decrees made by the Defense Council and issued by the military spokesman. Both the Defense Council and the military spokesman were Amin himself. The Uganda National Liberation Front, which overthrew Idi Amin's military government, was chaired by Professor Yusuf Chilonde Lule, who became President of Uganda. Aged 68 years, Lule only ruled for 68 days and was overthrown in a palace coup by the National Cooperative Council, which the interim legislature was chaired by Professor Edward Lugumayo. The disposed Yusuf Lule was flown to Dar es Salaam, where he was held under house arrest for some weeks until he was allowed to go to Britain, where he stayed until his death 3 years later. The National Consultative Council, led by Lugumayo, appointed Godfrey Lukongwa Binaisa, a prominent lawyer and former Attorney General, as new president. Binaisa ruled for 11 months, during which he entrenched himself, demoting the two military strongmen, Defense Minister Yoweri Museveni and the Army Chief of Staff Major General Oyite Ojok. Almost assured of winning the next election, Binaisa was overthrown by the military commission led by Paul Muwanga. Binaisa, who had been hoping to block the return of ex-President Milton Obote from Tanzania, was left under house arrest in an old house in Entebbe. Muwanga took over as head of state but avoided to use the title of president. He reinstated Oyite Ojok as army chief and restored some power to Museveni as vice chairman of the military commission, whom Binaisa had demoted from defense to minister of regional cooperation. Muwanga also disempowered the Lugumayo's legislature and vested all power in his military commission. He then announced plans to hold general elections in December that year, 1980. The then youthful Democratic Party leader Paul Semwogerere agreed to cooperate with the military commission and take part in the election. The same Semwogerere had filed a constitutional petition challenging the removal of Yusuf Lule the previous year. Political party activities resumed, and the two main contestants were UPC, led by Milton Obote and then President Muwanga as his vice chairman, and DP, led by Paulo Semwogerere. A third force emerged called Uganda Patriotic Movement, led by Yoweri Museveni. The fourth party was CP, Conservative Party, led by former Buganda Katikkiro Mayanja Nkanji. Elections were eventually held on December 10, 1980. But before the Electoral Commission could announce results, President Paul Muwanga usurped the Commission's power, and he said he was the only one to announce. He declared UPC the winner, closely followed by DP, although Semwogerere's DP was generally believed to have won. Surprisingly, Semwogerere's DP agreed to go to Parliament as opposition, and it is Museveni of UPM who rejected the results. Muwanga handed power to his party boss Milton Obote, making him the fourth president after Idi Amin, though he had been president before Amin overthrew him in 1971. Milton Obote had hardly settled in office when Museveni launched the People's War of Liberation on 6 February 1981 with the attack on Kabamba Barracks. Obote ruled for another 4.5 years with his power diminishing. The army was weakened by the rebel National Resistance Army onslaught and finally broke into the Acholi and Langi factions. The Langi faction, led by Tito Okello and Bagilio Okello, overthrew Obote on 27 July 1985 and installed Tito Okello, a fifth army president. Tito ruled for exactly 6 months, and after a peace agreement negotiated in Nairobi with the NRA under the chairmanship of Arap Moi collapsed, he was swept aside by Museveni forces on January 26, 1986. Museveni took power and sworn in, declaring the development as a fundamental change but not a mere change of guard. 32 years later, and after winning 4 presidential elections, the sixth post-Amin president has ruled Uganda for longer than all his predecessors combined, leading Uganda now for 32 of its 55 years of independence.